Okay. Okay. You want to type for yourself or do you want me to type for you? I'll type for you.
This isn't the typical classroom setting, and this isn't a strictly paper and pencil program. These are the sounds of a Clase Magica, the magical class, an after-school program that is far from ordinary. La Clase Magica is a technology-based after-school program. It is bilingual and bicultural. Speaking English and Spanish in the classroom is normal. Susana Romero-Reese is the site supervisor at St. Leo's in Solana Beach.
It just allows more students to access what we have here for them. We do have some students this year who have no English yet. They just got here and they cannot speak English. And so the fact that we have games that are in Spanish, they're allowed to participate just the same as all the other kids.
It may be the magical class, but La Clase Magica, or LCM for short, didn't just appear out of nowhere. LCM is rooted in another program called the Fifth Dimension. Like the Fifth Dimension, LCM is technology-based and traditional power relations are discouraged. LCM participants learn from educational computer games.
I've worked at other homework places where they just do homework and you're not seeing that much learning because they're just kind of memorizing for tests and they're struggling and not wanting to do it. But when you have the computers and you have the whole world at your fingertips on the internet and the activities we're doing here, it makes it fun. And when learning is fun, you get a lot more learning done.
Former project director Eva Palomares also feels that computers make the LCM participants' experience a fun one.
We like to say that children learn while having fun. In a way, you know, the kids go to the classroom and they do stuff, but they know that sometimes they know that they're there to learn. But in La Clase Magica, it's more of a game. They're here to play the game, to be with their amigos, which are the volunteers, undergraduates, and it's more of a social atmosphere where the children learn.
Their amigos and amigas, undergraduates from the University of California, San Diego, and Palomar Community College, are their friends, not their teachers. There are two stark differences between the Fifth Dimension and La Clase Magica: bilingualism and biculturalism. The creators of La Clase Magica adapted the Fifth Dimension program to fit the cultural background and situation of bilingual children. The mazes, which consist of rooms where several games are situated, have rooms with Spanish names. The instructional cards for each game, called task cards, have a mixture of English and Spanish words. The task cards also begin with a paragraph that reflects the cultural experience of bilingual children. The La Clase Magica curriculum has been adapted numerous times. Every adaptation has been the direct result of the changing necessities of LCM's target communities. Olga Vasquez is the founder of La Clase Magica.
We learn something out in the learning context through our research activities, and then we change it. But there have been several stages in which the adaptation was much more prominent than in others. That it was, we for example, the adaptation from the Fifth Dimension to a bilingual, bicultural adaptation is one. The other is when we decided to take a lot of the activities and adapt into the Mexican origin community.
Now La Clase Magica is facing another challenge, one that impacts not just the bilingual population, but everyone. Globalization is changing the structure of the world. Communication between people from different parts of the world is no longer impossible or difficult. In this globalized world, knowledge is more important than even money. Students need to learn much more than science, math, and reading. They need a foundation of skills that prepare them for the globalized world. People should have cognitive skills, financial literacy, technology literacy, and an appreciation and awareness of other cultures. While the traditional school structure fails to address these issues, La Clase Magica does.
Well, in our project, what we're doing right now is giving access to children, giving access to computers, and also to institutional support. What is happening is that that prepares them to the school as it is now. But the school requires an entirely new transformation. And since these children are already vulnerable to the fact that the school might not provide them with the kinds of resources to move on, then we need to prepare them even further than the school.
And to do that, La Clase Magica recently underwent an adaptation that prepares its participants for the globalized world. Celine Miranda was a former participant of La Clase Magica when she was younger. Now she is a coordinator at the La Clase Magica site at Los Robles.
The reason that they were adapted was to bring more issues like to globalize them and let the kids be aware that just start thinking about like globalization and global issues and just concerns that they usually wouldn't be just talking about in school.
The mazes now incorporate global issues into its games and rooms.
The game that I decided to include is called Jumpstart Language Club. And this is going again with the theme of culture, learning about one's culture, and it's this one right here, room number 10, as well as play with people in the city. So this room was added from the previous maze didn't have this room, and pretty much for the little ones what this encompasses is learning about their culture. In Jumpstart Language Club, they have the choice. There's actually 3 different cultures. There's 3 different little houses that they get to go to. One of them is learning about French culture. Another one is learning about Mexican culture, which for a lot of kids that's their culture. And another house is learning about I think it's Italian culture. So I definitely decided that this would be an important game for them to play, and going again with the theme of learning about not only their culture but other cultures as well. At La Clase Magica we believe that multiculturalism or embracing other cultures is very important, and we thought it would be a good idea for the kids to start doing this at a young age.
The mazes do not only address people of different cultures, they also encourage participants to look deeper into other global issues.
Some of the issues that the task cards address are issues like health, money, budgeting, different things. Like we have a task card on farm workers. We have a task card on controversial issues that they're doing like a PowerPoint about different controversial issues. Not only are they learning that new technology, but they're also learning just other issues that they usually don't talk about in school.
Katie Canseco is an LCM participant who played a game called Genius, which incorporates lessons of geometry with money managing skills.
Well, I've always wanted to be like a cosmetologist, so I've had thoughts about like opening my own salon or something, and I think that like it's helping me, like, because it also like helps you learn how to manage the money that you have and how to work with the amount of money that you have. So I think that's an important part of a business.
The new games produce children who think more analytically about 21st century issues. The old task cards ask participants surface questions. What is the purpose of the site? What is the source of the site? And now the new task card asks participants to think, to challenge themselves, to do things outside of what the website already provides.
I suppose it's really diverse, I guess. Like, for instance, like, Cultura del Mundo, or things like, how to be green. That's great, because you learn different, it's real diverse, the curriculum. You learn about, environmentalism, or you learn about, different cultures, globalization, and you'll also learn about maybe, there's some games, where they learn about money, how to manage money, for instance, like maybe SeaWorld Tycoon, or Sim Park.
The new mazes bring results.
It's been an absolute positive. Last year we didn't have a maze, but we had boxes of games for them to play, and the kids really fought the games that we had last year. And this year you can tell a lot of thought has gone into that, into the games that were selected, and the kids are really enjoying learning and using the maze, and they go and they grab their maze and are excited to see what they get to play next. And their choices that they have are educational, fun, and kids are just having a great time with it.
But the work isn't over for La Clase Magica. It will always be adapting for the bilingual population's situation and needs.
And obviously this is a work in progress. We started it off, however, we look at it as it's always going to be changing. We're always going to be making changes to it, adapting it. As our society and our world changes, there's probably going to be other things we want to include in it. But we started it off, I guess you could say.